Hello everyone, it's Maria Russell here with you today, back for Not Too Shabby. I'm going to share with you two spring cards showcasing the newly released digital stamp set called Carrots the Bunny. I will also be using a previously released digital stamp set called Farmer's Market. So when I use the laser printer, I have a Nina Solar White cardstock. The 80-pound cardstock will work well with the laser printer that I'm using, which is the Canon laser printer. And I printed it on 16 so that they are perfectly sized for an A2 size card base. I will also be using this new Dots for Spring 6x6 paper pad, and I really love the colors on this paper pad. It's just really perfect for spring. And for the sentiment, I will be using the stamp set that was previously released called Easter Wishes, and that is the sentiment that I used there, as well as the Pines and Holly die set from Newton's Nook and the bow dies from Catherine Pooler. For the grass, I also used the LDRS Creative Grass die, and that's how I decorated the card. So these are all the items that I will be using today for the cards, so let's get started. So the first thing that I did was to print it out from my Canon laser printer, and then I die cut the bunnies using my brother's Canon cut machine. And I have 16 pieces there. I also printed a bigger one that is 9 pieces on a sheet so that I have the bigger one to use for a slimline card. And this is the Farmer's Market digital stamp that I previously have from another card that I made for Not Too Shabby before. So I'm going to show you some coloring here, and I will just put some music on. I left this here in case you're wondering how I colored the images, and I'll be back after the coloring is done. And here's what it looks like once I was done coloring the image. I used my X-Acto knife and my precision snips to cut the inside so that it looks really nice when I adhere it on the card. For my background today, I already have this card panel that I stamped and colored a few months ago. The stamp set that I use is from My Favorite Things, and since the marker that I use for the grass was super bright, I decided to die cut the grass panel using the LDRS Creative Grass dies. So I will be putting the card panel inside my MISTI to adhere the first grass panel there. I put it on my MISTI so that it is aligned properly. And then I popped up the farmer's market to create more dimension. And then also adhere the second grass panel with foam adhesive and using my tape runner. The bunny that I use here was not the blue one that I colored earlier because I wanted to create more contrast with the colors. And then for the sentiment, I use a stamp set from Newton's Nook. So now I am going to adhere this panel on an A2 size note card, and the first card is done. I really love how this first card turned out. I think the colors are very cheerful and they are perfect for spring. And since I already have the other bunny that I colored previously, I wanted to create another spring card. So I will be using the Dots for Spring paper pad. And to die cut the oval, I use a die from Cat Scrappiness called Double Stitched Ovals, and I use a stamp positioner to center the oval here to die cut the pattern paper. After die cutting it, I noticed that my washi tape left some mark on my pattern paper, and I was really upset about that. But before I handle this, I just used my pencil to create the oval so that I know where to position the background. And I'm using a stencil here from My Favorite Things, and everything will be listed and linked in the description box below. I'm just using my brushes here and two Distress Oxide inks, but I noticed as I was doing this there wasn't enough contrast between the two colors, so I added worn lipstick to this to just make it look more orange. And after stenciling the clouds here, I erase the pencil mark with my eraser, and I flipped this pattern paper and put foam adhesive for added dimension. And then I will be adhering the grass panel first that I die cut using the LDRS Creative Grass Panel die. So here is when I use an oval frame that I die cut using the same dies before, and I will be popping up the bunny with foam adhesive for added dimension. Here's when I decorated the oval frame with the Newton's Nook die, and I will be adding that pink bow using the Catherine Pooler bow die set that was available at Not2Shabby. I'm not sure if this is still available, but if it is, I will be linking it in the description box below. And off camera, I stamped the sentiment Easter Wishes from the Easter Wishes stamp set that I stamped with Versamark ink and heat set with my heating tool. So here are the two spring cards showcasing the Carrots the Bunny and Farmer's Market Digi stamp, as well as the new pattern paper from Not2Shabby. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you like the cards, I'd be super grateful if you can kindly give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment down below, and everything will be listed and linked in the description box. Thank you again for stopping by today, and happy crafting!